That was only a 2 hour and about 2 hours and 20 minutes to unload. Of course, I know full well why, because half the load half the back of the load shifted anyway. Rear two pallets were facing the door. They kind of knocked over on each other, so. But now that we're done with that, I'm gonna head on home. Alrighty, good afternoon, trucking fans. After dropping my load in Charlotte yesterday, I took me a 10-hour rest break. I am now a little more than halfway home on my deadhead. So look, if you're on this video, then you're doing a good thing. You're keeping up with us. We appreciate that. While you're here, make sure you like the video. It tells me what kind of a good job I'm doing. Share it with a friend. Let others know that I'm out here. Other people that know a trucker, maybe they are a trucker, maybe they're interested in it, maybe they're in school, whatever the case is. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications, because I put these out very frequently. Could be a daytime, nighttime, could be anytime. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to be talking about rates. Everybody's always so worked up about rates, whether or not they're going to get any money for a load. Hell, some people even misunderstand rates. They think it's all set in stone. You know, if all there is $2 a mile loads, that's all they're going to make. Nothing could be further from the truth. My friend, a rate is what you make of it. We're going to talk about some do's and don'ts. Some experiences I've had in the last 8 to 10 years dealing with people. And hopefully what I got to say will kind of give you new perspective on it. Maybe help you out, make you some more money in the process. Or let's face it, everybody's new, right? Maybe you're so new, maybe you're so green to the business that Kermit the Frog gives you sunburn. I don't know. But either way, sit back and listen to my perspective. I think you get something from it. Yeah, ain't that pretty looking? Nice little rainbow or sun ray, that's what it is. Nice little sun ray coming right down. I don't know who it's shining on, but they got some good fortune right there. Yes, we hope you tune in on a regular basis. We're trying to give you some right good advice. Give you everything you need. If you're looking to start a business, kind of like I am, I'm finding out a little bit here, a little bit there. Every day something different. So we try to pass it along to you, so you'll live the experience with us. God bless you. I think this will do a lot for owner-operators, independent contractors. These people who basically have to look at load boards and look at dollar amounts and determine whether or not they're willing to haul that load for that amount of money. There's a couple of different ways of looking at it. I've gotten some information from friends on YouTube. I've gotten some real good information from my own experience, kind of putting the two together to make the rest of this video. So I'm talking to you from a perspective of 10 years. Actually, kind of scratch that. I'm talking to you from the perspective of over 3 decades. I've been in transportation. I've worked positions where I've not only negotiated rates for myself, but I've also set rates. I've run companies, I've been drivers, I've been up and down the gamut from bottom to top. So I know what it is to run a company, and I know what it is to need to have a little bit of control over the rates you receive, the income you work for, and also the things you pay. So realize we're talking about negotiating rates. One of two things is probably happening. Either number one thing is you've taken a break. If for whatever reason that break took you away from trucking for maybe a day or so, maybe you did a 34, maybe you just wanted to wait and see what would develop over the weekend or something, whatever the case is. Or number two, you broke down and you kind of, for whatever reason, had to put loads on hold and wait for something to get fixed on your truck. Okay, so now you're here, you're sitting in this situation, and you've got to look at a load board and you've got to make a decision. And usually one of two things is going to happen. You're going to call on a load and just take whatever offer they give you, or you've got an app and you're just going to have this bid thing where you're just going to, be told, well, no, this is the only rate you got. It's really not the way it works. Okay, every load out there, whether you can do it on an app or not, every load out there has got a range, a low and a high. Unless you're talking about Amazon or Walmart, pretty much you don't have any people there. It's all computers. You can negotiate a rate somehow. Well, before you do anything, my advice, it's always helped me out, is know your objectives. Know what your goals are. Gives you something to work with, mentally speaking. You know what you got to do. It makes taking more or less and developing a strategy that much easier. Some of you guys out there, you guys get paid every week. Some you get paid every load. So, it depends. Me, I get a weekly statement. But when I start doing my own thing, get my own authority, I'm going to be working on a load-by-load basis. So, in that case, I'm going to be looking at 30 days for an objective. I'm going to go by the month, what I make, and at the end of the month, I've got to pay out certain amounts of money. So, at that point, things change. To a small extent, even now, even though I get weekly statements, I still look at the month, but keeping a shorter picture in your mind helps you deal with each load as it comes. So, it's certainly a good place to start. The other thing would be set a minimum. Know in your mind that you're not willing to accept any less than, pick a dollar amount. Stand your ground, no matter what happens, no matter what someone throws at you, excuse after blame this, say that. You got a minimum. You don't have to make it a big deal to the broker you're talking to, but if he's just not meeting your minimum, then you just got to move on and look somewhere else. Make your life easier. Set a minimum, stick to it, and try working above that minimum at all costs. No matter what you do. I always like using the rule of tens. You're like, what the fuck is that? Alright. How much can you really do in 10 hours? So, in terms of setting your minimum and knowing what your objectives are, if you work as if you work in a rule of tens mode, you might have heard me refer to before, and I think in past videos I've made reference to it. I like to set my expectations at around 1,000 a day. So, for me, the rule of tens could be just the C notes that I make. But I like to think of it as what you can do in a 10-hour day. Because right now, the federal government only allows us to drive behind the wheel 11. but you can only really put 10 hours of distance between your pickup and your delivery. So some people like to get cross-country loads, take 3-4 days, whatever the case is. Whatever it is, when you go negotiate a rate, think about what you can do in one 10-hour day. And set your sights to work around that accomplishment. Hey guys, don't let negotiate rates and figuring out what to get paid on a load. Don't let it stress you out, man. It's not that hard of a thing to grasp, you know. You have something they want. Likewise, they have something you want. So when two minds need to meet, an agreement has to be made. The ultimate decision is yours, whether you want to decide to take the rate they're offering, or whether you want to ask them if, well, maybe it's just, for one reason or another, not good enough. Sometimes it just don't hurt to ask. When it comes to load rates, load boards, and bids and offers, there's a way to look at it. Good way and a bad way. Good way is nothing's set in stone. With that load board you're looking at, and I don't care what it is, whether it's an app on your phone, a website, whatever. All that is a template. Someone somewhere has to get X number of pallets of goods moved. So that template sitting in front of you is just what they want you to move their product for. It is by no means end all and be all. There's always got to be room. So you're working with a template. You're not working with a load board. Alright? Bad way of looking at it is if you don't ask. If you do take that load for that 1,200 that man's asking you to do it for, well, then what you need to understand is not asking or attempting to negotiate a better rate, all that is lost money. Maybe you can get that load for 1,800. You won't know that unless you ask. Okay, so then you ask and he comes back with $1,250. You can either take that $1,250 or you can ask for $1,750. You can go back and forth, and eventually, if he wants that load moved bad enough, he'll agree to a rate that you stipulate rather than one he stipulates. Let's say you get through that negotiation and he suddenly agrees to $1,400. Well, that's $200 more than you had before you started negotiating. Right there is a good 2 weeks worth of beer. Or you mean maybe one, but you get the point. It's $200 more than you had. So always look at it. Not asking, that's lost money, brother. One more thing. If they call you wanting you to get the load, and it's not off a load board or anything, you've got the leverage. Don't be afraid to use it. If they call you because you're somewhere close to their load, use that to your advantage. A short time ago, I had somebody call me. I was in Indiana, I presume. I don't remember exactly where, but the guy wanted me to move a load of his to somewhere near Kentucky. He was asking me to do it for $1,000. Well, needless to say, I knew I had the upper hand because I had already looked at the load board and seen 2 or 3 loads already that were going a little further than Kentucky, but were asking $1,900. He tried talking me down, telling me the lane don't pay that much. I was like, look, you called me. I'm going that way regardless. Now, if you want, I'll pick it up. I'll take your load for $1,600. Otherwise, I'm going to keep looking because I need $1,600 to hit my bank account today. And we settled on $15. So I made an extra $500 just using the tactic that, hey, I had the leverage there. Because I could have easily hung up that phone and I could have went on the load board and I could have found something probably paying better than that. But I made the situation work to my advantage. Next time you get on the phone, take these things with you. Hope it helps you. Hope it makes you money. Until next time, be happy, stay safe.